I'm just going to see if I can show you how to make this mega menu I've created in Bricks. No CSS, no plugins, anything like that. It's just basically a header template with the mega menu sections built into it. Just some basic interactions really. So I will try and talk you through it rather than just build out another header. Apologies if this isn't the way it's usually done. I've never done a video tutorial before, but we'll go through it and have a look. So this is obviously the header in the back end, or in the builder, sorry. So we've got a normal header template created, section, container, got your logo there, just a button on the other side, and what I will say, just a bit of padding, I've set the height of my header because you'll need this in a second when adding the mega menu sections in to fit directly underneath the header. So obviously you can set that to whatever you like, whatever size header you've got. Apart from that, yeah, just background, nothing special about that. But yeah, instead of a nav menu, so I've inserted a block. I've set it at 50% on this one because when it was full width it was playing up with the button, squishing it all to the side, but obviously you can adjust that as to what you've got in the actual menu, how many links you've got, etc., and if you've got a button there. But yeah, you can play around with that as you wish. Inside the block, so I've got 3 buttons which will be my menu. Each button is set to 100% height, so it fits directly across the whole height of the header. Because when you hover over this, you don't want obviously just to hover over a button, because as soon as you come off the button onto that little gap, the mega menu will disappear. So you need it to go flawlessly down into the section of the mega menu. And yeah, apart from that, just normal stuff. The interactions for each button, so there's 2. So there's obviously the hover, so you'll have the hover trigger, action show element, target the CSS selector, and the selector ID right there. Obviously on this bit you've got to put the hash or # if you're American in front of it there for it to work. That will then correspond to the mega menu section, and each button has got this and just a different CSS ID selector in there. The other one is the mouse leave trigger, and that will hide the element, hide the section of the mega menu, CSS selector, and that's going to be excuse me, the same as obviously the hover, and these will correspond to each section of the mega menu. What I was trying first of all, so I'll open this one here. These are just sections built into the header template. There we go. It's just basically built in here. I did have it sort of sat there, which it doesn't look any different to begin with. But if I save that a second, excuse me, when I have it outside of the block, you hover over it and it pushes the content of the page further down the screen, which obviously we don't want. So it's really simple, but it took me a little while just to figure out what was going on. And if we place it back inside the block, save, refresh, and there we go. It hovers over the content of the hero section, so it doesn't push it all down and make it look totally rubbish. So these are, like I said, they're just normal sections with a container. Just got a bit of padding, 40, 40, 20, 20. Obviously just there. Is Z index 99. I can't remember off the top of my head if that actually makes a difference to make it stand over the top of the hero section. But, you know, try it if you want. But I'm pretty sure it does make it do that. But again, I don't know if it's necessary or not. Background, white. I've got the box shadow on the bottom just to make it look a bit more 3D as if it's like laying over the top of the content. And obviously the section, you will need the CSS ID, which will correspond to whichever button you want it to hover over. So that one there, what we do, and that one there, what we do. And that there is without the pound hash symbol. So nothing overly spectacular about that. What I will say is on the sections, you'll need the same hover and mouse leave interactions as you do on the corresponding button, because otherwise if you come off the button, the section disappears before you can even click on anything in the mega menu. So obviously if you've got the same hover and mouse leave, you hover over it, it stays there. As soon as you go off of the mega menu section, it will disappear like a normal mega menu. The mega menus themselves, the sections, excuse me, you can have your columns. I mean, that one there is split into 2 more columns just for this, probably a bit overkill, but it's just to set it up to show what kind of content you can put in. So I've got text, got an image, button, the normal nav menu. These are just blocks with icons and headers and a button put into it. There's no link on the button. On this one, I believe on the block itself, I can put a link on the actual block. Which is great, and that makes that a whole button. Once you've, I mean, you can put anything you want in these. Once you've designed all that, what you've got to do is make sure in the builder you display none, otherwise it's going to show on the front end. And this one is a similar sort of layout. It's the full width, it's got a header, a divider at the top, nav menu, and just a random image which you can make clickable if you wish. Obviously put a link in that one. The third section I've got here, before I forget, hide that one. So this one is obviously not full width, just to show that you can do it in any size you want. It's got the curved border on the bottom, so it's not a full width one, so you can put whatever in there. And again, that's going to have the interactions with the CSS selector, which will match obviously the third button in the header. And I will also make sure, excuse me, hide that one, select it to none. So they're all hidden. The block itself isn't hidden, just these. The block here, you need to set to absolute, and I've got 80 pixels from the top, which is, as I said at the start, the height of my header, so it sits directly underneath with no gap. Obviously if you wanted a slight gap, you can put that to a little bit more, 85, 90, whatever your header is, obviously set that accordingly. That's the only change on the block itself. Just quickly save that. And that's pretty much it. Basically, you've got interactions on the buttons, a block with the sections sat in, hidden with their own interactions to correspond the same as the button. And as soon as you go to the front end, refresh, it should all just work. So there, like, we've got the full height of the button. I've put a little bit of a gap in between each button, but obviously you can not do that if you wish. I've got 20 pixels there, but you can have them right next to each other. So let's take that one out, save, refresh. Obviously they're going to be closer together, but then you won't have that jump between each one. They'll just smooth transition between them. And as I said before, you've got the hover and the hide interactions on the mega menu sections. So obviously when you're hovering over this, it doesn't disappear, but as soon as you go off the bottom, it goes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously this won't show on a mobile device. So you may have noticed I've got an icon there which is hidden. That there will show on the mobile landscape yet. So mobile landscape and smaller, I've got that mobile toggle. The main menu and the button are hidden on mobile, and this one will open a mobile menu in there. Basically that one is the only one that is a pop-up. Excuse me. So let's have a quick look at that one. The mobile menu. There. I mean, I've built it the same or similar to the first mega menu section, where these are buttons themselves. Nav menu, button, but again, you can put whatever you like in there. I've got that one. The close icon with an interaction, click, hide element, hide the pop-up, and the mobile menu selected there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously on that icon there, you'll have an interaction to show the mobile. Click, show element, pop-up, mobile menu, and that will work just fine, just seamlessly. And you can again design these however you like. You can just have a nav menu in there with a logo. You can put all sorts whatever in there and just obviously test it to make sure it all fits. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I was going to build the mega menu out, but it's pretty straightforward. Any questions, let me know. But yeah, have a go, see what you think. And until next time, thanks a lot.